Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is July 3rd, 2023, and tomorrow, America turns 247 years old. Almost as old as the president. Let's talk knives. First knife on the table is the 100% USA-made new Benchmade Shootout. Now this one features the same crewwear blade you've come to know and love, but this one has the sort of FDE Cerakote and this Crater Blue handle. And the Crater Blue comes from the inspiration of the Crater Lake. So if you've ever been up to Oregon and seen Crater Lake, one of the most beautiful bodies of water in the world, and they sort of adopted the color and made this FRN handle out of it. And in classic Shootout fashion, feather light, somehow they managed to bed the rails in the FRN here, and it makes for a very light and very smooth operating OTF. It's built like a tank, and in classic Benchmade black glass fashion, it is designed for tactical applications, but I think this is a great EDC OTF as well, simply because the action is so smooth and so fidgety. The knife itself is so light and easy to operate. It looks nice too, and I just love me that blue. Anyway, those are going for $315, and we also have a gray version as well that just came in. I'm still waiting out for the Mesa Red version. I think that one's the best looking of the new ones from SHOT Show this year, but this Crater Blue is here, and I know that a lot of you have been excited for that one, so pick these up fast. Next up is the GiantMouse REO, and this was announced at Blade Show. And what I find most intriguing about this is, first of all, the MagnaCut blade steel. It's gonna have great edge retention. It's gonna have the toughness that you've come to expect of MagnaCut, and of course the corrosion resistance. And then look at this micarta handle. They have done a lot of machining to it. Sometimes with micarta, they sort of just rely on the natural grippiness of the material and they give you a flat surface. But sometimes I like to see a little bit of this knurling like they've done here. And then a brass backspacer, so it's gonna age with the micarta as well. There's a few other handle material variants, but all of them are gonna have this MagnaCut blade, and these are going for $195. And so if you haven't heard, GiantMouse tends to name their knives after bars, and so this one's after the Rio bar in, Lansing, Michigan. And the Rio was a car company that made the Speedwagon, and then some group decided that they wanted to make a band out of that. I mean, I don't know. I don't listen to music from century. Anyway, moving right along, we have the new Flytanium universal pocket clips, if I can hold on to it. So these are titanium pocket clips. They come in black, stonewashed, and bead blasted. And this whole pattern is kind of interesting because it has an elongated hole in each direction. And that allows it to fit a multitude of Spyderco knives, Benchmade knives, and then it can squeeze onto some others too. You can probably throw it on an Ontario, a lot of Emersons. And pocket clips are one of the most consumable parts of a knife because if it's exposed, you can snag it on your seatbelt, you can snag it on a door, on a table, or whatever, and you'll break your pocket clip. But for those of you out there, in fact, I'm willing to make a bet right now. If you have a collection of 10 or more pocket knives, I'm willing to bet that this pocket clip will fit on at least one of them. I think that's accurate. I think that's true. Let me know in the comments if you think there's one that won't, unless you have a lot of knives with no clips. I know that some of you traditional guys like to just keep it in the pocket. We can talk more about that later. Next up, new from Nabalis, we have the Lightning. In classic Nabalis fashion, this one is an affordable butterfly flipper, and this one has bushings as well. So I know that a lot of hardcore flippers out there are very big into bushings, and you might be making a convert out of me. I think I like the bushings more than the bearings as well. But this one's bushings, and it's going for $44.99, and it's giving you a bit more of a different design from the Vulp that you've come to know and love. And then it's got the Nabalis branding right across the handle there, which is, I think looks nice. I don't know how to look at it properly, but Nabalis. These are great, but they are also moving into a bit of a higher end space as well. This one's got the milled channel aluminum with this simple finish, but this one is going for $119. This is the Trident, and this one has that milled aluminum bedding and then these really nice textured G10 overlays, still on bushings, nicely tuned, and this thing feels quite a bit more premium, I would think, and you would hope it would when it costs $119. But I am really enjoying Nabalis' stuff. Look at the laser cutouts of this blade. And you can kind of see the Trident going on right here. It is a very good looking butterfly knife. And then they have the bottle opener here. And what I really appreciate about the bottle opener is on blades like this, sometimes when they're perfectly symmetrical, you don't know what the bite handle and what the safe handle is, but they put theirs right here. And that way, if you're about to give yourself a ring of shame, so to speak, which is where you try and do a chaplain around your finger with the edge, you just cut a giant ring around your finger. This one has a little bit of a corner here, so it'll never actually cut you. It's a true trainer, but if you try to do that, it will remind you very quickly that this is not the edge of the knife that you want to be playing with, which I think is critical in a trainer. And I love that Nabalis has taken the steps and made the effort to make sure that their trainers teach you the proper habits for using a full size and real live edged butterfly knife. Next up in the fixed blade world, we have the Bradford Guardian3. Now you've seen these before, but this is the first time I've seen this white and black G10 handle. And I just love the looks of it. This one's got an AEBL blade. So if you haven't heard of Bradford knives, they are made in the USA. They're like a family shop. They do really great grinds. They use an eclectic array of steels, and you can get them from some of the more affordable steels all the way up through the fancy M390s, Magna Cuts, etc. Very nice fixed blades for everyday carry. In fact, some have said these are the gold standard of everyday carry fixed blades because, let's see, what am I carrying in my pocket? I got a Weed Trogon today. It is just about the same size as a folder, but they come with this rad horizontal leather sheath. So you just pass your belt through there and you tuck your knife in and it just vanishes. You'll never feel it, you'll never notice it until you need it, and you just hook your pinky right in your hand, ready to get cutting. I really appreciate Bradford's, and it is about time I got me one. Next up, new from K-Bar and from Ethan Becker, we have the BK19 Nessmuk. So it uses the same handle pattern that you see on the BK16 and the Harpoon that came out recently, but this one has the Nessmuk blade style. And if you haven't heard of this, this was a blade style named after George W. Sears, who went for his entire life writing for Field and Stream under the pen name Nessmuk. And he is one of the fathers of modern day backpacking. And his blade style that he built with this kind of hump along the back, well, as you have a nice deep belly with a nice strong tip, gives you great slicing performance, great through wood, great for hunting, fishing, etc. And in his opinion, it was one of the best outdoor knives that you could have. And judging by how many knives like this one sort of take the modern materials and build, but still use that iconic blade shape, you know that blade shape meant something. And true outdoorsmen and women have proven this blade shape for a while, and I'm just very excited to see it come to a K-Bar, especially under the master ergonomic tutelage of Ethan Becker. And I'm just really excited for that. And this sheath, look at this sheath. K-Bar generally does like a nylon sheath, but recently with these Becker designs, they've been doing these nice snappy polymer sheaths. You can just swap this around, make it lefty if you want, carry it upside down. It's a really great merging of the worlds, because I would say a sheath like this tends to be more of a tactical feature, but this knife feels to be more of a bushcrafty vibe. I think it mixes well. Ethan Becker is a true master of his craft, and he's made a lot of great knives in his day. If you are looking for outdoor knives, do not discount the Ethan Becker line from K-Bar. Next up in the everyday carry world, we have the Viper Vale. So these ones were announced at SHOT Show, and I held them there, and I held them again here, and I fell in love all over again. So if you look, this one's got this wooden handle, and I love this texture they've done. It's got these horizontal milling marks that grab your hand just right, so if you're like bearing down on the knife, it's going to prevent your hand from sliding up onto the edge, and that allows you to have a fairly small flipper and this nice finger choil. So if you want to make some really precise cuts, you can. It's got a Magna Cut blade. This one's got the wood handle, but it comes in some micartas, even a purple carbon fiber. Purple haze, is that what they're calling it? Yeah. I really am enjoying the different materials they're using. And I think wood is one of those materials that kind of gets forgotten in the everyday carry world. We're getting so focused on the metals and the laminates that we've forgotten our roots in wood. And wood knives are the ones that built the world. Wood-handled knives built the world. So you don't need to be afraid of their durability or anything. If you just carry it in your pocket every single day, just your use is gonna be plenty to protect it. And that will give you sort of the added benefits of wood, being super light, very moldable. So like if you find that your hand doesn't fit the knife just perfectly, you can just go in with some sandpaper and you can make perfect grooves to fit your knife perfectly. I really appreciate that customizability of wood handles. Next up, for a very modern take, we have the new Bestech Mothus. I saw this one at SHOT Show as well, and what I really appreciate is look at the milling on this titanium, and then this bar lock is so smooth. Opens, has a nice sound to it, locks up just perfectly in every direction, and I know that's something that's kind of difficult to pull off with these bar locks. It's a nice milled titanium pocket clip, a very clean, sleek in the pocket carry, but when it's open, it fills out your hand very nicely. Sort of a gentleman's knife that you could do some hard work with. And I really appreciate the pricing on them. These vary from as low as $297 all the way up to $339. And if you're looking at some of those USA made titanium M390 blades, this price is something to be reckoned with. And I really, really appreciate what Bestech has been pulling off lately with these bar locks. And if that's a little steep for you, check out the Ronin. That one we talked about a few months ago. It's like 50 bucks and it is on point. Bestech has figured out the bar lock. Next up, we have the Sencut Serene. And I picked this red one because my goodness, does that pop. What a beautiful red. And then this one has been very popular as of late. Firstly, because it's very affordable, $46.95. And an absolutely buttery smooth action. Great sound, thumb stud it, flip it. Let's see if I can Spidey flick. Ooh, I got it. I really like this one. A very nice deep carry pocket clip. It is an EDC powerhouse from the get-go, especially for its price. Sencut, guys, they are really killing it this year. And then next up, we have the SBR fixed blade. This is our exclusive with the Jade G10 handle and the S35BN blade. We've talked about this one before, so I'll kind of gloss over some of the features. It's got this nice horizontal texture, kind of like we saw on the Viper Vale. That's classic to a lot of Les George knives. And then a nice slicey blade here. And I think this is a great hunting knife or a great everyday carry fixed blade. Comes in a nice Kydex sheath, snaps, and I like how ProTech threw a Spyderco G clip on there. A lot of times knife companies don't want to touch the other knife companies, but I really appreciate about ProTech and Chris Reeve is they both will mention other companies that really complement their product. In this case, the Spyderco G clip. And if you look at Chris Reeve's website, it says use a Spyderco sharp maker to sharpen your knife. And I really admire that about some of these companies who are willing to see the benefits of others. And then lastly, we have the Viper Knives Vulpis. So this is a series of knives slash multi-tools that kind of are in the Swiss Army knife size. And I think like these are just right for me because I can get 3 fingers on there, I can do some work. It's a lot larger than the keychain Swiss Army knives you've seen, but smaller than the full-size pocket ones. And these ones come in a bunch of different varieties, all the way from one blade up to a blade, a saw, scissors, this package opener, can opener, and wire stripper. Like it's a Swiss Army knife, but built in Italy to a bit of a different market, I should say. And these ones, I'm most impressed by the price. So if you want like the full toolkit, titanium handles and an M390 blade, it's $92.54. And if you want the basic N690 aluminum handle, just a blade, it's like less than $30. These are very well built tools using much more premium materials than you see on a lot of knives of this style. And they're coming in at very competitive pricing. So check out the the Fox Vulpis series, and you will not be disappointed. Anyway, that is a whole lot of knives we just talked about. Check out all of these and more at bladehq.com. There will be links in the description, and we will see you on the next one.